And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and today I want to tell you why I am low-key leaning, bullish on the macro cycle. Okay, I'm low-key leaning bullish on the macro cycle. However, I'm also going to tell you guys, short-term traders out there, if you're someone trading the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, I am going to ask you guys to be cautious on this current level of the market, in this current juncture rather of the market. Okay, and that is primarily because we have a major event today, guys, and that event is the J. Powell speech. Remember, in my last video, I told you guys that Chair Jerome Powell will be speaking on November 30th, where he is going to be referencing the economic outlook, inflation, and the labor market. This is going to be a very, very important speech, considering that this happens right before the FOMC meeting that I believe actually takes place. Okay, maybe not right before, but anyways, it takes place 2 weeks from now. I believe it's December 14th. Okay, you can note that down. You can mark it down on your books, on your calendars if you have to. But this is what we have in front of us right now. Jay Powell will be speaking. People have been hanging on to every word that comes out of his mouth. All right, so I want to talk about this speech specifically and how it ties in to price action. Alrighty, and my forecast on what is likely going to happen getting into Christmas, getting into next year. Now, in addition to this, we also had another news event that hit the streets, at least the crypto streets, 2 days ago. And that was this news piece that came out on BlockFi. BlockFi actually came out announcing that they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, initially, when I heard this news, I was so done with it. I was just like, seriously, now again, after everything that we've all had to sit through, you're going to give us another freaking news piece that really hits us hard? Right? Because you need to understand, guys, that BlockFi had a lot of customers, and those customer funds are still stuck on the platform. They stopped withdrawals slightly after the FTX debacle happened. Okay, so a couple of days after FTX announced that they were insolvent, BlockFi comes out to say that they are stopping withdrawals because they had exposure to FTX. However, what was very, very important about this news was how Bitcoin reacted to the BlockFi news. All right, so I also want to be talking about this today because this essentially ties in to why I am leaning macro bullish here. So I'm going to take you guys on over to price action. Now, before I begin, I want to implore you guys to smash that like button if you haven't already done so, because it goes a very, very long way for the channel. However, if you're someone who wants to wait until the end of the video to see if you derive any good insight from here, then by all means, I respect that. Wait until the end of the video to see if you get anything of value. But if you do, hey, smash that like. So here we are, Bitcoin USD on the 4-hour time frame. I specifically want to bring up the 4-hour time frame because I do believe that this is where the party is happening. The last time we spoke about Bitcoin was somewhere around this region right here. Right? I told you guys that, hey, we're putting in this consolidation. It looks like a head and shoulders pattern. However, no volume confirmation. I put on my Mango dynamic indicator. I told you guys if we break the dynamic, we're coming down to 15K. Now, when the BlockFi news happened, I was in the kitchen, I was cooking away, and I got a notification on my phone. It was Twitter. And that's when I saw the whole BlockFi bankruptcy news. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I went up to Sean. I'm like, this is just never ending. And I remember feeling really grim in that moment. I'm like, can we just get this damn bear market over with already? And you need to understand that I immediately pan on over to price action on my phone. And this is where Bitcoin was sitting at. Okay, it was around this level right here. All right, so now I just want to draw your attention to just my horizontals on the chart. This is where Bitcoin was sitting at. Now, at that point, I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go. This is where price actually gets down to 13K. Because what I thought was very important was that, hey, we're in the middle of a bear market still. Okay, we got some immense bearish news that came out with another bankruptcy filing by another big platform where people also have funds stuck on that platform. Right, so I'm looking at bearish news in a bear market. So I'm looking for another bear drive to the downside. I'm looking for more weakness on the chart. I'm looking at more people caving on these levels, dropping their bags. They're like, I'm done with this. Right, so I was actually expecting 15.9K to break. For those of you who watch my last video, you guys know that I've been keeping my eyes on 15.9K. Because why? If I take you guys on over to the weekly time frame, I know my chart is messy, apologies. But what is that range that I'm looking at right now? I am looking at 18.7K, which is this region right here. This was that breakdown region of the FTX debacle. And I'm looking at major support coming in at 15.9K. In my last video, I told you guys that if you are someone expecting 13K on the books, if you have bids at 13K, I'd say don't freaking jump the gun. If you're looking to take a short here, get cute on this level, only to look to capitalize on 13K. Don't jump the gun on that because we're still sitting on support at 15.9K. Guys, when I draw on my horizontals, I'm looking at overall market momentum, price action, volatility. I'm looking at all of these variables and I'm coming up with these horizontals. They're not driven by guesstimates. I'm looking at actual numbers on the chart and coming up with these horizontals. $15,986 was a key level as far as price action is concerned. And as you can see, price actually bounced right off of that level. So I noticed that, hey, okay, you know what? We're still on support. So I'm not going to jump the gun. Price still has to lose that level for us to get down to 13K. But at that point, when the BlockFi news hit the streets, I'm a bit grim. I'm looking for 15.9K to get taken out. 15K is done. 13K, here we come, right? However, if I take you guys back on over to the 4-hour time frame, what happened instead was that, price dropped a bit further. Okay, this was maybe less than 2% if I'm correct. Around 1.2% from when the BlockFi news hit the streets. Price consolidated. Sean actually had a pretty good sort of thesis on that. He's like, you know what, the people who actually got the news first, the people who were actually releasing the news like CoinDesk and stuff, probably shorted Bitcoin right here. We saw this drive to the downside, and this was them likely taking profits on that drive, right? But I was still like, okay, you know what, they're likely going to take profits, but you know what, retailers are going to step in once again and sell this baby to the downside, with us actually losing 15K, and then price goes all the way down to 13K. At least that's what I was expecting. But what happened instead was that, we actually consolidated, okay, around that 15K region, 16.1K region. But what do you know? We rallied right after. Guys, when you see things like this is testament to social divergence on the chart. When bearish news does not initiate a dump on the asset in the middle of a bear market, that is social divergence. Now, social divergence, while subjective, holds a lot of weight during pivotal market junctures. Now, I will look at this as a pivotal market juncture, considering that once again, Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, from the top right here at around that $70,000 region to the bottom right here, this drawdown is sitting at a good 76%. Okay, that's a 76% drawdown. The last bear market, what was that drawdown? From the top at 20K all the way down to 3K, that was a good 83% drawdown. Bear market bottoms as well as the bull market tops. Those are pivotal junctures of the market where social divergence plays a key role. Now, that shouldn't guide you entirely, but that should help you set your biases aside. Now, that's why with this BlockFi news, this has tilted me a bit on the bullish end, considering that this is social divergence that we're seeing, that the markets did not react to the BlockFi news. Now, while I am leaning macro cycle bullish here, the fact that we're seeing the initial signs of social bullish divergence, if I take you guys back on over to the 4-hour time frame, I'm still going to ask all of you short-term traders to be very, very careful in this juncture of the market. Okay, now why is that? It's because we have another event that comes out today, which once again is the Jay Powell speech. You need to understand that Jay Powell is going to be speaking ahead of the FOMC meeting. Now that really got me thinking. I'm like, okay, he's speaking ahead of the FOMC meeting. Now Jay Powell has been hawkish. For those of you who do not know what hawkish is when the Fed comes out and they say that, hey, we're increasing interest rates. Interest rates, my friends, is the cost of money. Okay, it is how much you pay a bank to borrow money from the bank. It is that interest rate that you pay. When the cost of money goes up, people are a lot more averse to borrowing. They're like, no, it's too expensive for me. I'm not borrowing money from you. So that has an adverse effect on spending amongst households as well as spending amongst businesses. Okay, that's when the economy really tends to slow down, when they increase the cost of money. So when they do that, that means they're coming out hawkish. Right? When they do the opposite of that, they're coming out dovish. So now Jay Powell has been coming out hawkish for the past 4 to 5 months now, with 75 basis point hikes each month. each month, guys. So we can now expect him to approach the speech in that vein, okay, in the vein of being hawkish. And that's why I'm telling you guys to be very, very careful, because if that comes to fruition, the markets will dump on that speech. Okay, he's been using this tool of forward guidance to basically guide market to acting a certain way. Every time he comes out hawkish, the market dumps on that hawkishness. Okay, every time he comes out dovish, the market then rallies. What's important to note here, and why he wants to do this, is primarily because of the data that's come out. Now, as far as these interest rates are concerned, guys, what you need to understand is that people can actually forecast on these interest rates. And check out what the forecast looks like right now. Okay, this is the forecast. 67.5 people only think that he's going to increase it by 25 to 50 basis points, which is down from the usual 75 that he's been hiking it by. If this comes to fruition, if this outcome actually comes to fruition in the next FOMC meeting, which happens in 2 weeks, the markets will freaking rally on this. Okay, he is not happy with these spreads right now. 67.5% of people think they're only going to come up with 50 basis points hikes. Okay. On the other side, only 32.5% of people think he's going to hike it by the 75 basis points, which he has been hiking it by now for like 5-6 months. Alrighty, so if this outcome comes to fruition, 50 basis points, the markets will freaking rally on this. This is what he's trying to curb right now. This is the excitement. Alrighty, so for those of you looking to position long in this juncture, I'm saying be very, very careful. Alrighty, in fact, if we're just looking at the technicals, I'm going to go on over to my daily time frame, put on the mango ribbon. Okay, you'll notice, I'm just going to switch off all my nasty squigglies. You guys will notice that we're currently using the 21 EMA as overhead resistance. The 21 EMA comes in at around $16,974. Okay, so that is overhead resistance. In addition to the daily 21 EMA, if I go ahead and put on my Mango dynamic indicator, you'll see that we're also up against dynamic resistance, which comes in at around 17.1K. So this entire region right now, can draw in a box right there, is resistance for Bitcoin. Just going to get rid of all these squigglies I do not need. Now, he's trying to get markets to settle down. But if I'm just looking at overall price action, because I am a big proponent that price action will guide you ultimately. Okay, if we're just looking at price action, I am actually noticing a bullish pattern that is triggered on this chart. However, I personally am going to be waiting on additional confirmation. The bullish pattern is this. I am noticing a bullish head and shoulders pattern that is actually broken to the upside. Okay, for those of you who still do not see it, allow me to just draw it out for you. I'm going to just fix my scale actually right here. Okay, there we go. And this is it. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. This right here is the break. However, no volume confirmation. Usually when I see bullish patterns in a bear market, I look for that volume confirmation. Okay, so I want to see a bit more volume pour in here before I actually take any trade based on this bullish head and shoulders pattern. Alrighty. So far, I do believe that just based on what's happening right now with the current events that we have in front of us, if the markets dump, I think we dump all the way back down to these levels right here until we see the next rally. Do I think we see a rally though? That's the main question. If, like I said, if these rates come to fruition, if they actually come out 2 weeks from now saying that they're only going to be increasing by 50 basis points, yes, markets are going to rally, and maybe, just maybe, he's coming out today to curb the excitement only so that when the rally happens, it's happening from this level right here and not this level right here. It's like picking the lesser of the two evils, right? So these are like certain nuances to really watch out for. But I'm saying play the TA because ultimately the TA is what's going to help guide you best. Okay, right now we're up against resistance. We're getting into a Fed speech. He's likely going to pose hawkish. Chances are you can start getting greedy on your bids. In fact, if I take you guys on over to the Mango dashboard, you'll see fear and greed index still flashing fear and ticking up at 11.54%. And notice how Bitcoin USDT is long, but volatility flashing 75. Usually when we see volatility expand that much, we can expect a drawback on that prevailing trend. So if markets have rallied, right, with volatility flashing red, we can expect a pullback. Alrighty, so that's what I'll be expecting. The dashboard is telling us that we can expect a pullback. The Fed speech is likely telling us we can expect a pullback. And right now, even price action on the chart with daily overhead resistance is telling us we can expect a pullback. Alrighty, so I'm saying short term, wait on that pullback for those of you looking to position here. However, long term, look towards those social divergences to see if the market momentum is switching around. Things will start looking a bit different as soon as price actually gets back up over 18.7K. 18.7K, guys, was that breakdown point. This is that FTX debacle. Okay, this was that key level that we lost. We take that back once again, I will be knocking off my bid at $13,000. I'd mentioned that in one of my previous videos, but as soon as we take back 18.7K, I'm saying the chances of Bitcoin getting all the way back down to 13K looks very, very grim. Okay, 13K, for those of you saying that, no, I'm still waiting on 13K. Okay, no problem. 13K is only going to be on the books, guys, only if we start closing weekly candles underneath this level right here, which comes in at around $15,986. If you guys want to go ahead and take note of that number, go ahead and do so. Alrighty, but this is the analysis for now. Be patient on your bids. This is the time where you guys can start getting greedy and you will be rewarded on that greed for your bids, okay? So, yeah. Keep that in mind. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope there was something to take away. If there was, make sure to smash that like button, and I will see you on the next Bitcoin update. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.